What's up, lovers of whiskey and watchers of YouTube? I'm the Malt Activist, and thank you for joining me for this very special whiskey review. I am talking about this rather tasty Deanston. Ooh, the 18-year-old Deanston. What do you guys think? Let's go, let's go. Before we begin, welcome to our first-time viewers. Thank you for clicking on that thumbnail. That means I'm doing something right. That means you're interested in whiskey. If you're interested in whiskey and whiskey vlogs and whiskey reviews and whiskey lists and I don't know, everything that has whiskey associated with it, then this channel is for you, man, because that's all we do on this channel. That's it. So hit that subscribe button, that bell icon, and woo! You will thank me. Better yet, if you like, you can also join the YouTube community, become a member of this channel. That will be highly appreciated as well. So thank you for tuning in. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. To my returning viewers and my members, you guys are awesome. I love you. Let's get this party on the road. Alright, so I'm gonna have to tell you, man, this whiskey took me by surprise, like big time. Not really familiar with Deanston at all, for that matter. Of course, I knew it existed, just never really had a dram. I think I had a Deanston Virgin Oak a while ago at a friend's house, and I was like, wow, that's not bad. Quite a decently made whiskey, quite delicious, quite complex in some ways, but overall very delicious. And I thought, yeah, this is good. I should explore more. And then we had another tasting from our whiskey club where the Deanston 18 was one of the whiskeys on the menu, and when everybody tried it, they lost their minds because people were like, holy hell, what is this whiskey? Where did it come from? What the hell is going on, right? So I actually included this in my last video, blind tasted it with four other 18-year-old whiskeys, and this came out on top by a mile. It won by a mile because it was so almost perfectly made without any flaws, actually zero flaws, right? And super interesting maturation on this whiskey, which I will get to in a second. Let's talk about the Deanston distillery first. I've done a quick bit of research from their website, so this is all I know. If there's more, please let me know. If I mess up something, do let me know. So distillery founded in 1965 by a gentleman by the name of Brodie Hepburn, who saw a very American name, by the way, Brodie Hepburn. I don't know if he's Scottish. He might be Scottish. Anyway, so in the small town of Deanston by the River Teith, he found this old cotton mill. Yeah, he found this old cotton mill, and he's like, what do I do to this old cotton mill that will serve the community? This is what it says on the website. And he's like, yes, I know, let's make some good old-fashioned whiskey. And that's where Deanston Distillery started back in 1965. And from the looks of it, seems like they've been producing some good stuff. So fairly young distillery, very, very young distillery. 60 years now, 57, 58 years now. So not very old. And from the looks of it, producing some tasty beverages. They have some interesting core range expressions as well. So you have the Deanston Kentucky cask matured. I'm going to guess that all the casks are from Kentucky. That's why it's called Kentucky cask matured. Man, good marketing team, guys. You have a good marketing team, I gotta tell you that. So, Kentucky cask matured. Then you have the Deanston Virgin Oak, which is something that I've tried. Then you have the Deanston 12-year-old and the Deanston 18-year-old, which I have also tried. So, from the core range, I've tried two of them. I'm very, very curious about trying the other two as well. Then for some of their special releases, we have the Organic PX finish. These are all vintages, by the way, so it says 2002 on them. Organic PX finish. Then you have the Pinot Noir finish, also 2002. Then there's a 2003 Oloroso cask matured. And then there's finally a 1991 vintage Deanston. So yeah, I think some old stuff in there as well. And something that you find at the distillery only, some distillery exclusive, you have the port cask finish from 2002 and something called the Chronicles, which I need to do a little more research on. So I think interesting lineup of whiskeys that these guys have on sale. I'm very curious to see what they taste like. If their core range is this good, then you know what? I'm guessing their special releases and distillery exclusives they must be amazing. So I'm very, very happy to come into acquaintance with Deanston, and I think they're doing some fantastic work. I saw their management, and Brendan McCarran is a master distiller. He used to be master of wood down at Glenmorangie PLC. In fact, working with the likes of Mr. Bill Lumsden. So he's now at Deanston, which is fantastic. Then there's a lady called Julianne Fernandez, who's their master blender. So you know what? I think all of these guys are doing a top-notch job, and I'm really, really happy with what I have in the glass. Whoa! Now, speaking of what we have in the glass, all right, let's go. Deanston 18. All right, so this is what I know about this whiskey. This is an 18-year-old Highland single malt. It is non-chill filtered, natural color. It's been matured primarily in second fill bourbon barrels. I want to say about maybe 16 and a half years roughly, and then finished off in first fill bourbon. And I find that sort of maturation super creative, right? Because you normally finish off in a different cask, whereas this finish is punctuating the flavors that already exist, which I think is super interesting. Because normally what will happen is you'll have a whiskey that's been maturing for like 12, 14 years in bourbon barrels, and then it's finished off in Oloroso or PX or wine or whatever it is, or port or whatever it is. But what they've done here is they've taken second fill bourbon barrels and then let it mature, and then they finished it off with first fill. So the spirit, just took on very slowly and in a very mellow way all the flavors of the second fill bourbon, nice and easy, without any dangers of over influencing the spirit with the wood. And then just for the last, I'm gonna guess, year, 18 months, maybe even 2 years in first fill bourbons to really amp up all the flavors and aromas that are already there in the distillate, rather than add like a new dimension to it. So interesting way of finishing off a whiskey, from a cask of the same origin. So very interesting, well done, and I think this experiment paid off. I don't know of many other whiskeys. Actually, I don't know of any other whiskey that has a maturation like this, where the first phase is second fill and then the finish is the first fill of the same liquid. So weird. So if you guys know anything about that, do let me know. I would really appreciate that bit of information. Okay, now for the whiskey at hand. Look at that. Look at that. Natural color, non-chill filtered, guaranteed, because I keep getting this wrong because there's so much information out there. I keep getting all my facts wrong, but for sure this is unchill filtered because that's what it says on the bottle. At the back, the literature says this is all natural color and character. So this is what the distilleries told us. I'm 100% sure that my facts are correct. This is bottled at 46.3% ABV. And yeah, that's what we know about this whiskey. I know it tastes scrumptious. Like, to the point I'm thinking, oh my god, is this my whiskey of the year? Is this gonna be? And you know what I'm thinking? I've been doing all these blind tastings for the last last few videos, and I'm thinking I'll pick all the winners of my blind tastings, and then I'll do another blind tasting of all the winners, and then I'll pick my whiskey of the year from there. That should be awesome. Okay, all right, so let's taste. Here we go. There you go. Oh, just sublime. I love this nose. It's an amazing nose. Very, very aromatic. Quite floral. Hints of malt. Very, cut grass. Light honey. Some tobacco and nutmeg in there, but primarily it is just so heavy on the vanilla. It's like a slap in your vanilla face. No, a vanilla slap in your face, not a slap on your vanilla face. Just, everything good about a good bourbon barrel is in this bottle, and it comes across so nicely. And I can tell that, you know, that second phase finish maturation with the first fill bourbons really amped up all the flavors that I normally love and associate with a good bourbon barrel distillation. So beautiful. I absolutely love it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. This is just one of the most gorgeous noses I've come across in recent times. Well done, Deanston. Well done, Brandon McCarran. Well done, Julianne Fernandez, and everybody else involved in this venture. You guys are doing a stellar job. Okay. Chin chin. Boom, boom. Sorry, an old reference to Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Wow, gorgeous mouthfeel, coats the palate, lovely. I get there's sweet citrus, there's spicy citrus. I can get the barley, lots of sugars, gingerbread, manuka honey, white peppers, sponge cake, and that vanilla in your face. Whoa, big time. Ooh, and nice long-lasting finish. So, wow, this is pretty good, man. This is not pretty good. This is like excellent stuff. I really, really like it. I think it's available for roughly... Oh, you know what? I'll get to the price in a bit because there's two things I need to talk to you guys about after we're done with this video. Yeah, man, this is stunning. This is a stunning dram. This is a beautifully made whiskey. It's not overly complex, but it is really delicious. I love the balance between the spice and the sweetness. The mouthfeel is beautiful. The strength is on point. It works. It just carries those flavors. Carries those flavors beautifully. The aromas work. Everything is very near perfect. Where as far as this whiskey is concerned. So well done, everybody. Good job. If I was going to rate it, I would give it a very healthy 8.5A. Yeah, I think that's pretty above average whiskey. Something that I would definitely buy over and over again. Okay, let's now talk about the price and the value for money. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so this whiskey costs roughly 75 pounds. Wherever I've looked, it's on an average of 75 pounds. And I think that's a very decent price to pay for an 18-year-old whiskey, which is this tasty. Again, now, this is what I want to talk to you about. That opinion is exactly what it is. Just my opinion, where I think that 75 pounds is a good price to pay for an 18-year-old whiskey, given the times that we live in. I know that this 18-year-old would have been available for like half this price 15 years ago, but times are different now. You know, I don't control the prices. I just look at it in relation to other 18-year-old whiskeys that are out there that sell for a minimum 100 pounds plus. So if I can get something that's delicious and easily available for, 25-30% less, then for me, it means that it's good value for money. That's my only judge. Because I'll tell you, man, two things happen. One, I had a comment on my last video where somebody's like, I did a video called Budget Whiskeys, and for me it meant whiskeys between 70 and 80 pounds that were all 18-year-olds. And this gentleman got really upset, and he goes, and he put budget in air quotes, and he's like, yeah, budget. And he called me a distillery shill. So I just want to make two things very clear. Number one, no one at Deanston knows who I am. Okay, I've maybe had a chat with Andrew McCarran, but that's about it. That's also when he was back in Glenmorangie, working on with Mr. Bill Lumsden. So I've maybe spoken to him twice, But he has no idea I run a whiskey channel or that I'm reviewing his whiskey or whatever it is, right? So I'm not a distillery shill. Nobody pays me anything for this. Every single whiskey that you see in the bag and the whiskeys that I have in my hands that I review, I pay for with my own hard-earned money. Okay, I do not take samples from anybody. If somebody does want to give me a sample, I'll take it and I'll review it the way I see fit. If anyone does give me samples with an agenda, I will not take those samples, okay? Because truth matters. It really does. And I promise you, I do not, under any circumstances, promote a distillery just because they pay me or to give me free samples or whatever. Ardbeg has never in their lives given me a free bottle of whiskey, ever. But I'm a huge fan. I'm a fanboy. It is what it is, right? So one thing, I am not a distillery shill for sure. I wish I was. I would have made a lot of money, but I'm not. And so please, so when I promote a distillery or a bottle, or an expression, it's because I truly believe in it and I think it's amazing. Or if I shit on one, then it's because I think it's crap and it should and everybody should know about it, and that's the only reason. So you're very welcome to have your own opinions about me, and that's fine. But I just want to make it very, very clear that I have no vested interest in doing all of this. Secondly, with regards to price, price is the most subjective thing in the world. 20 pounds is super expensive for somebody, and 2,000 pounds is cheap as hell for somebody. So for me to call something value for money just means that it is my perception of it being value for money. It may not be yours. So I'm going to just leave it at that. I think 75 pounds for this whiskey is great value for money as far as I am concerned. You may not agree with me, and that's absolutely fine. You might think, oh, that's too cheap for an 18-year-old, which in case it makes really, really good value for money. Or you might say that's too damn expensive for an 18-year-old, and that means it's not value for money. But that's just your opinion versus my opinion, and so we're just gonna leave it at that. I'm just going to tell you it costs 75 pounds on an average wherever you look in the UK on the online sites, and I personally think it's great value for money. I don't know how much these whiskeys cost in Australia and North America. There's a different level of taxation that happens over there that I don't understand or know about. For example, this whiskey in Taiwan costs like $65. But in Canada and some parts of the US, it costs $150. So, and that's like 2.5 times the price. So, hey man, if it's expensive in your part of the world, it's because your government taxes those whiskeys in a way that make them expensive, versus in any other part of the world or where I get them from, I don't pay that kind of prices. So that's the reason. So it might cost very different in places where you're from. That's purely because of taxation by your government, and it's found at different prices in different parts of the world. So I basically, because I buy all my whiskeys from the UK, I base my opinion on the prices that I can access in the UK on the online retail stores like Master Malt or Whiskey Exchange or the Whiskey Barrel or Hard to Find Whiskies. Again, none of these sites know who I am. I just buy from them, and I'm just any other customer that they can find. So again, please, I'm not promoting anybody. I really don't care where you go and buy your whiskeys from. If you find it for 50 pence cheaper at the grocery store next to you, then please go and get it from there. Anyway, so that was not a rant, but just a little clarification I wanted to make, because I was really surprised at being called a distillery show when I genuinely don't have those kind of intentions. So it is what it is, man. But enough about me. The Deanston 18, good work, the guys at the distillery. I hope you get to see this video and see that there's so many people appreciating this dram, and send me free whiskey. No, I'm just kidding. Don't send me free whiskey. I will buy all your whiskeys and I will review them. And if they're good, I'll call them out. If they're shit, I will call them out. But for now, Deanston 18 is super dram. I think it's beautifully constructed. I love the maturation on it. Like I said, I'm aware of the work done by Brendan McCarran, and I think he's extremely qualified. So well done. I think I think they have a good man on board that can take Deanston to new heights and make it even more popular. Because I think it's very low-key now. So I hope they get the recognition that they deserve. And that's it. That's all I have to say about that. Well done, Deanston 18. This is an absolutely stunning dram. I think you should definitely go out and buy it. Even if you feel that £75 is a little too expensive, just splurge, because I think this whiskey is worth it. Or split it with a friend and get half a bottle each. So yes, so thank you for being a part of this little rant at the end, which I didn't really want to do, but I kind of did. And I hope you liked this review, and please, if you're a first time viewer, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon. It means a lot. You can even like and comment down below. It helps with the algorithm. For my returning viewers, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much, and a big shout out to my YouTube members and my Patreon members for being so supportive and encouraging me to do this. So thank you. Can you believe the fucking leaf blower is here? Mother